Hey everyone, this is Jemmy, and this is the 28th episode of Curve the Cube, brought to you by Flintstone Media. And Curve the Cube is aimed at inspiring you to pursue your dreams and everything outside the cubicle and really feed your life passions, because you are who you are, so don't get stuck in a rut. And on this episode, we have the lovely Madison Langley, who is a part of the live hymnal band at my church, and she's amazing. She's this incredible singer and musician, and has really been, at her young age, has really been a great advocate for herself in pursuing her creative talents and a creative career path. And so she gets into that in this podcast about how she's really finagled her way into making sure that she stays on a creative path in life. And it's really, really inspirational. And right now, she is in college in Nashville exploring some musical, settling in some musical roots there. And she's a classically trained pianist. She's a singer, guitarist, songwriter. She's just incredible, horseback rider, and just a really, really great individual. And if you recall back to episode 13 with Charles Milling, that actually has been her mentor for years. And so we talk about him a bunch, and you'll just hear on here why she's such an inspiration for just really staying true to who you are and being advocate for others doing the same. She's really great. And this episode is sponsored by Little Smiles. And Little Smiles is a great organization here. And what they do in South Florida is they put smiles back on the faces of little kids. So kids who are homeless, kids who are struggling with something, kids who are sick in the hospital, they do what they can to step in and really help provide whatever that those kids need to get through a daily life and with a smile. So go on to littlesmiles.org, and if you type in a promo code of curved smiles, CURVED SMILES, no space, you'll get 10% off some gear. And so buy it up, because all the proceeds benefit Little Smiles, so it's a really cool deal. Anyways, thanks for listening. This is the 28th episode of Curve the Cube with the lovely and quite inspirational Madison Langley. Oh, and you can find her, just be sure I mention it, at Maddie, MADI-music.com. And on social media, she's Maddie Music 22. So I want to be sure to mention that. All right, this has been Jemmy. Enjoy. Curve the Cube will now initiate. Hey, sweetheart. Let me tell you, I'm so glad you have a drink, because I felt so bad because I meant to bring you something and I completely spaced.
Hi. It's so good to see you. Good to see you too, sweetheart. I'm excited to do this.
Hey, and thank you so much for taking time out of your trip home.
Oh, of course.
Be with your family and sit with me instead.
No. No, of course. This is cool.
This dress is awesome. How are you today?
Thanks. I'm great.
Good.
Yeah.
So, I'm really glad you're here. I'm really excited to have you on the podcast. I've had you on my list for a long time. And so, let's start with introductions. Let's tell people a little bit about who you are, where did you grow up, and that type of stuff. I know some answers. But
Yeah. I'm born and raised Delray Beach, Florida.
You're a rare find.
It's true. Everybody is. No one is like originally from here anymore. But yeah, born and raised Delray Beach. I was taught guitar by Charles Milling.
Previous podcast, yes?
Yes. In like 3rd grade at St. Joseph's.
Yeah.
And once that started, it just spread. I got really involved in like the youth group and the band. And before I knew it, I was singing with live hymnal. And my mom started me in piano lessons when I was really little. So I guess that's where it really started. I was like 4 or 5. Wow. So I played classical piano for about 12 years.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And
how did I not know that? That's crazy.
It's sad because I lost most of the classical training, but that's where I started writing.
Really?
On the piano. So my first song I ever wrote was in like 5th grade on the piano. And so
it's amazing. How does that translate into guitar? Because I don't know anything really about playing music. I really wish I did, but because there's a structure to it. So and I know that the piano is often regarded as like the mother of all instruments. How does that translate into your guitar?
You know
playing?
what? I mean, I was surprised. I didn't really, connect the dots between guitar and piano until maybe 4 years ago, working with Charles, but just because the piano was so classical, reading the sheet music, stuff like that. And then when I started working with Charles, it was all chords and getting to know like just like the guitar neck. When really, I mean, every single fret, it's all a note, just like the piano, just on the keys. And so when I made that connection, everything kind of clicked. And what really helped me with piano to guitar was I learned all of the key signatures on piano. And so when it came to going to the guitar, I was able to...
Just like adapted.
Totally. Yeah. Exactly.
Amazing.
I could play any song in any key.
What's it like to be able to read music? I find that alone to be fascinating. To me, it's just like hieroglyphics.
It's like another language. It's really fun. I mean, you look down and I haven't, like I said, I haven't like read sheet music in forever. But I mean, I know all my notes, and I could probably sit down and pick out whatever's going on. Like,
if you were to look at a sheet music, can you like, when you read it, are you hearing it?
No, I'm not that good.
Okay.
You know, I have so many friends from Belmont that they were trained classically in like chorus, and so they can look at a piece of paper with notes and sing it.
That's just sick to me. That's just insane.
Sick. I can't. No, I'm not there. That's insane. Like ear training.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. So how did you first know you wanted to be? Did you know you wanted to be a singer first, or just kind of like a musician in general? Like,
I have always been singing. I have videos of my cousins would video me when I was like 2, sitting in like their bunk beds, like singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," just singing all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And my dad. I mean, my parents always had great music in the car. I always remember just awesome artists like Norah Jones and like that was so my mom, you know, in her car was like Norah Jones and Sade and all these amazing women. And
so
then I'd go
learn these really great vocalists, probably help build your brain when you're little.
And amazing songwriters too, which is really cool.
That's
and then with my dad, it was more country, like Alan Jackson, but just like great memories of us just like singing in the car on the way to school. So I've always been singing. I've always loved to sing. Like when it came to school events, anything like that, I was always really excited to sing.
What does it really do for you? Is it more about telling a story? Is it expressing an emotion? What is it about for you that you really love?
You know what? It's definitely very emotional. And when it comes to like sharing a story, that's more personal when it comes to like my personal songs. But I mean, I definitely, most of the songs that I connect with are because I'm connecting with it emotionally and what it's saying and you know, the way it makes me feel.
Yeah.
So.
And so you write your own music too, right?
Yes.
You write lyrics and songs and stuff.
That's my major. So I'm going to school for songwriting.
That's exciting. Okay. That's great. We're gonna get into all of that. I'm so excited to pick your brain on all that stuff. What is how old were you when so you said you were like really tiny when you first started singing? When was the first time you really started singing? You sang in front of like an audience of strangers?
My first performance ever was here at St. Joseph's.
Oh, was it?
At school. It was for a chapel, and I had to do a performing arts like credit kind of you know requirement, and you could decide what you did, whether you danced in front of someone or blah blah blah, you know, whatever it was, whatever you could do. And I asked my teacher if I could sing a song, and I sang Hallelujah.
Oh, my favorite song that you sang.
I love that.
It's
like
my favorite
literally
song.
I mean, like that's like my go-to song.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it's how many years later?
I don't even care. Know. Sing it all the time.
I love it. And that was literally my first, one of my first performances. Actually, no, my first performance was Angel by Sarah McLachlan. But Hallelujah was like the first. I remember Hallelujah was the first like big crowd. Yeah. Scary.
Was it scary?
Oh, at that age, yeah.
When you got off the stage, what did you think?
Oh, I was just shaking. I was like, how'd I do? And now I get up there and it's like I feel so comfortable. Yeah. Like so comfortable.
You look super comfortable.
I love it up there.
I remember the first time I ever started seeing you sing with the group, I was just like, because I hadn't met you, I was just seeing you as a singer, and I'm thinking, this girl is super composed.
Thank
like,
you.
amazing, flawless. Like, I thought you were incredible.
Thank you so much.
And then I think at the time you were only 16.
I was really young.
And I was like, say what now?
Wait, what? No, I did.
I must have misheard that.
I started singing with Live Hymnal when I was 15.
You were so little, but you were so good.
Thank you.
Like, I just, there's a maturity to how you perform that's really...
Charles, man.
You know, sometimes you ever meet someone who you're like, this can't be their first round on Earth. They had to have been here
Old
before.
soul.
Like, yeah, there's like a piece of that with you. There's just like you get a little bit. You get of that. There's a depth. I love it. And so so tell us about the University of Miami Global Academy. Like, what was that about? Because I never heard about it until you mentioned you were going there, and I was like, that just sounds super off the charts, like crazy,
random. Yeah. So I went to St. Andrews High School for 2 years, my first 2 years.
I didn't know that.
Yep, in Boca. Yeah. Went there for 2 years, and I wasn't using my time the way I wanted to. I mean, I was going to class, I was getting my education, you know, sports requirements, and then I have a horse and music, and so I wasn't focusing on the two things that I wanted to, which was my horse and my music. And I was getting a good education, but I knew that I needed something different. I wasn't very happy in the environment. And it wasn't creative enough for me, honestly. It was, private school, private prep school, different environment, and I just needed more. And so I went to Pinecrest,
so I know what you mean.
Exactly.
They're like sister schools practically.
Totally. Exactly. So you totally know what I mean.
Totally get it.
Okay. So I was talking with my great friend Lily, and she's so creative. She's awesome. Just a great, very cool person. And
I've ever met her before. Has she been here before?
You know what? You may have.
I may have. I feel like that name is very familiar.
She's awesome. She's amazing. And if you haven't, I hope you meet her.
Okay.
But she was like, have you ever thought about online school? And I was like, what? Like, online school? I grew up in, private school.
Right.
Kind of
it's
like,
totally out
I was like, is that even like a thing?
Right.
And she was like, yes. She was like, she's like, there are some really great online schools. And I was like, okay. And so I started looking into it. I found a few options, and I wanted to do this so badly that I made a presentation to my parents saying, like, okay, I've talked to Charles. These are the schools that I could go to.
You can always drop his name for credibility.
Yes,
Isn't that funny?
Totally.
I was like, his name for credibility.
I talked to Charles. He thinks it's a cool idea. You can talk to him yourself. And like, I decided that I would work with Charles like 4 days a week minimum, for a couple hours, a good chunk of time on, just skills and guitar work and theory and music, and also record an EP.
Wow.
So while I was doing that, I was still getting an education and, working with Charles, working towards something I love, and I could see my horse.
So was the working with Charles part credited towards your school, or was that just you had the time now to do it?
The time now to do it.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
So the online school was still just the basic stuff, but then now you had the freedom to do what you really...
Exactly.
Very smart.
And so we found that University of Miami has an online high school program. And great. I mean, that's very credible.
Right.
It's UM.
Exactly.
And so I knew that I'd still be able to get into a good college and get a good education, and I was working on so much music.
That's great.
It was amazing.
So what drew you to Belmont, and how did you end up going there in Nashville and all that stuff?
So family trip, summer, my mom, we always find somewhere to go. And that year was Nashville, and I was so excited.
I bet your dad was.
Yeah, Music City, I mean, just so excited. And so we had a great time, we saw everything, and my mom was like, hey, while we're here, this is when I was still at St. Andrews. So
What's the big music hall there? The really famous music hall, the
Country Music Hall of Fame.
Is that?
Oh, Ryman, Opryland.
Opryland is probably what I was thinking of. So did you saw
Grand
all
Opry.
of it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So we went and did that, and my mom was like, prep school, focus on college. Why don't we tour Vanderbilt? So I'm like, okay. So we go and we tour Vanderbilt, and it was not the place
probably
for me.
More of the same.
Yes,
St. Andrews
exactly.
Feel, right?
And so I was like, oh no, nope.
Yeah.
And so
it's good that I'm impressed that you knew what you wanted, though. That's really impressive.
Well, thanks. I don't know. I just wasn't getting. I could tell it wasn't like the place for me. And so we're leaving, and we're driving on Wedgwood Avenue, and I look up, and you just see these huge, like this big hill, and these beautiful white pillared buildings, and I'm like, what is that? They're like beautiful. The landscaping is just amazing and just gorgeous. And I look, and on the sign it says Belmont University College of Music. and I was like, what? Like, it just, I saw, you know, this
Double
beautiful
take. Yeah.
place where you're like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you see that it's a music school. And the second I got home, like, I looked it up. And we ended up coming back the next summer for CMA Fest, a big country music festival. It was so fun. And we toured Belmont, and it was just, like,
Felt
fit
right.
to a T.
That's amazing.
Beautiful, amazing. And, like, so I knew by sophomore year, like, where I wanted to go.
That's incredible. How would you describe your musical style before college, and have you already seen it changing and being influenced?
It's definitely changed, definitely. You know, I mean, young girl writing went, you know, it's more, I would write a lot about, I was inspired a lot by high school, and just, you know, I was frustrated with people not being themselves. Most of my first EP is mainly about, you know, like, stay true to yourself, be you.
So
you don't have to.
This podcast, so I love that.
Perfect.
I love it.
You don't, you know, you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to be a certain, because just all I saw in, like, growing up in such a, I guess, the private
Affluent,
school,
privileged,
you know, it's very cookie cutter.
Yes.
And so, you know, and I saw a lot of them weren't happy.
Kind of stuck out like a sore thumb at
Me
Pinecrest.
too. I stuck out like a huge sore thumb. Like, honestly, they'd say, "Oh, you're the music girl, right?" And I'm like, well, "That's me."
That's me.
They're like, "You sang, right?" Yep, that's me. You know, that's what, they didn't know my name, nothing. "Oh, you're the music person."
It's funny that you say you were inspired by the high school and all that stuff, because I remember I wrote poetry back then.
Really?
I did, and when you're talking, I remember one of my poems, I couldn't tell you what it was now. I think it was more like a stream of consciousness thing.
Right.
And it was all about, like, how, like, girls needed to be in this image. I'm like, that's right. Twirl your hair on your slacked fingernails and keep worrying about the things that don't matter.
Oh,
like,
my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's so funny that you say that.
Yeah, totally relate. And they're miserable. A lot of them are miserable, and it's like, just be yourself.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, I didn't have a huge group of friends. I wasn't popular and that, but, like, I felt better about myself personally.
That's good.
So, I mean, that's honest. So I went from a lot of writing like that into more, I guess, it's definitely grown. It's definitely grown. It's fun, though. It's really exciting. Like, even now, so I recorded, like, the first chunk of music with Charles for the EP, which is only 4 songs, but those are, like, my first 4. And to see, like, how I've changed, especially since I've been there, like, I've told Charles, I'm like, I want to record again. Like, I have this whole
Do you want to re-record those, or just meaning to start? Okay,
no,
gotcha.
I have new material that's different and fun, and I want to go a different route with it. And
please do, because we want to hear it.
Of course. Good, I'm glad. So, I mean, I'm really excited. It's kind of more alternative, pop, acoustic, singer-songwriter, folksy.
Who would you maybe compare it to, if you could compare it to anybody, or mix a couple people?
I can mix, like, okay, you can get, like, a Norah Jones vibe. You could get, like, a Lana Del Rey vibe. You can get, and then you have these amazing folk artists, like The Head and the Heart and Damien Rice. And because I went from gigging and doing open mics on my own to playing with Spencer Marshall. Well, Spencer Allen Patrick is what he goes by. And he's an amazing, amazing musician, songwriter. And we'd play together, and he opened me up to the whole folk, you know, just these really amazing singer-songwriter genres. And which is what we write. Yeah. So, you know, you kind of wonder, like, oh, where does that fit in? And they literally just created a singer-songwriter genre. Yeah. For the people that don't really know where they exactly fit. Right. And just beautiful music, a lot of acoustic stuff, a lot of harmonies. Awesome. Beautiful imagery. Like, really, I mean, you're not going to hear it on the top 20, which is sad, but it's beautiful.
It can be a little frustrating sometimes when you hear someone who's so good, and you know, just because of the nature of the machine, it's never going to bubble up all the way to the top like it should.
You're telling me.
It can be frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, so these next few questions, Charles actually wanted me to
really?
Yeah,
no way.
I dipped into the Charles pool and I said, look, I'm meeting up with Maddie. You gotta send me some good questions. I'm like, you know her better than anybody.
It's gonna make me think.
All right, so question 1. Where do you get the inspiration for your lyrics? I know you talked about high school, but what about now?
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
I'm more of a lyricist than, I think, a musician in a way. I'm better with words and melody than I am if I was going to pick up a guitar and play something. Okay. So my notes on my phone just filled. Just if I think of something creative, anything, if someone says something interesting, like I'll write it down. And before I know it, if I'm, picking up my guitar and I like whatever I'm playing, I just open up my notes and start what fits here, And so,
do you find that sometimes the melody comes before the lyrics, or usually sometimes, is it the other way around?
No, it's more of a rare occurrence. But if and it usually happens in the middle of the night. I'll just be humming something in my head, and then that's tricky because I'm like, I need to record this or somewhere, something. Right? Just let me hum into my phone. But yeah, I mean, I'm inspired by everything. Yeah. Anything, everything. One of the best things that my commercial songwriting professor taught us this year was, he looked at us and was like, you're a professional songwriter now, and the world is what you're going to pull from. So when you're sitting in public and you hear a couple fighting, or you see someone just embracing, or you're at the airport and you see people that haven't seen each other in years, write a song about it. And so basically he said paint the walls, because it's all over and you just got to grab it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Paint the walls.
Really inspiring conversation.
I love it.
So I thought that was awesome.
How have your professors been? It sounds like
they're amazing.
Happy.
They're really, really great. That's such a perk of going to a smaller private college, for sure. Because you have more one-on-one contact. They get to know you. They care. You're not in a huge room with hundreds of people.
Especially when something creative like that.
Exactly.
To have that to have a professor know you specifically, know how you're flowing and your energy.
He knows your style. He knows what you're going for, and he can help you grow on that. So. The professors have been amazing, honestly.
It's good. I'm glad you're there. It sounds like you're in the right place. And are there recurring themes in your lyrics and to your songs? Yeah, there are. I mean, we all sing about love. We all love love. So love's, whether it's friendship, I'm a very passionate person. So when it comes to whether it's romantic or friendship or family or just people needing to give more love, I mean. The world needs a little more love. It's true.
So, I mean, when
it
comes down to it, it's like, if I can give, myself through my music and, the people listening a little bit more happiness or just a little bit more hope, I've done my job.
There you go.
So
that's good.
Thanks.
That's a beautiful thing to say.
Thanks.
Do you find that your spirituality filters into your music, even if you don't mean it to at the time that you're writing it? Do you ever go back and think, that's interesting?
Absolutely. Definitely. One of my first songs is called Twirl. And it's funny because it's about, for me writing it at such a young age, when I look back at it now, at the time I didn't realize it, but when I look back at it now, I'm like, wow. Yeah. I was saying a lot. Yeah. Because it was kind of it's about, you don't really know where you're going. And it's specifically focusing in on young girls. There's so much pressure there.
Is that a really important thing for you to focus on? Young girls?
Because I grew up, I was always very insecure about whether it's my body or this or that. I mean, I matured quickly, and you always have insecurities, and you think about yourself. And especially when I started performing and standing up in front of people, I had to deal with that. I had to come to terms with the fact that look, they're either going to look at me for my appearance or they're going to listen to me. And so I just had to come to terms with that myself, and that helped me grow a lot. But that's definitely a reoccurring theme, whereas you want to feel strong, you want to feel confident. And so that song, literally the first line is, in the heart of a girl there's a part that wants to twirl. And it's just kind of that spinning little, I don't know what's going on, I don't know what I want to do.
I love that.
Thanks. And so in the bridge it talks about, even though there's kind of cracks in the road, you can look up and reach for that higher power, reach for the person that you know loves you back. Aww. And so my spirituality definitely comes through.
That's amazing.
Throughout my music.
You know, it's funny, I just remembered something. So I mentioned that I used to write poetry when I was little. Well, the very first poem I ever wrote was in 7th grade.
Okay.
And it was an assignment in English class.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the context was, but basically to write a poem. So back in the day, there was this thing on HBO called Brain Games, and we're talking like early start of HBO, called Brain Games. It'd be like 5-minute long things, and they were just little, exactly what they like logic games or whatever. And there was one where it was like it would focus in slowly, and you had to try to figure out what it was before it became clear, right?
Yeah.
And so in this one particular one, it was a grain of sand falling through an hourglass, right? It was a cartoonish one, but so anyways, I loved it, and I wrote a poem about it, and it freaked my teacher out because I'm just thinking it was this like happy, I love HBO, like it's a fun thing poem, but it started off something like falling down, it seems farther than before, bumping and crashing over the cliffs of eternity. And I didn't realize it until I got the paper back, and my teacher like pulled me aside, like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right at home?" I didn't mean to put all that in there.
I was just watching Brain Games.
So you're infusing love, and I'm infusing serious depression. I forgot about that until you were just talking.
She's like, "Is everything okay?"
She literally was very concerned.
Oh my goodness. That's so funny. And you're like, "No, everything's fine. I was playing a brain game. You don't have to worry."
All right, so Charles said, when I was talking to him before this, he said, speaking of you, she is an advocate for everyone finding their best self amidst a messy life path. Wow. So you just dipped into that a little bit, but what do you think he meant when he said that about you?
Man, Charles.
I know, right? He could get you. He can like.
Can you read that one more time?
Sure. She is an advocate for everyone finding their best self amidst a messy life path.
Okay. I guess going back to, Charles and I have had millions of amazing conversations.
I believe it.
And so that definitely goes into it. And when I do go to him, it's usually about, I have someone I care about who's in a place that, is messy, and, man, stuff gets so hard. Everybody has their own problems, and you can never tell someone their problems aren't valid because it's all relative.
Right.
And so when it comes down to it, you don't know what's going on in someone's life, and the people you care about let you in, and you're, aware of that stuff, and you want to be there for them. And all I strive to do and to be is better. And when things get messy, it just makes you think about, okay, this is where I'm at. Yeah. And I know that I need to get through this. This is really hard. And even if it means, letting go of something that is really bothering you, if it's gonna help you stand
not well
up
for you.
That's so hard. We all have our bad habits. We all have those things that we want that aren't good for us. And
sometimes it's the messy path that ends up making you that better person.
100%. And that's what I've noticed. I mean, you don't appreciate the good times without the bad times.
It's true.
Which
so
it's
true.
It wouldn't be it's as amazing, because you look at where you come from, and where you've been and where you are now, and you're like, wow,
right. Life's an ever-evolving journey.
Oh, totally. I mean, and just to relate this, in songwriting, we talk about before the chorus, before the big note, the big opening chorus, the big main idea, there's usually a really low note before you go up to that big high
Bang
note.
it out, yeah.
So there's usually a storm before the calm.
You're so right.
And it makes everything so much more satisfying.
Everything ebbs and flows. You have the waves in the ocean, there's the low, and then there's the highs. Everything's like that. And, I think about anytime I'm going through a rough time, which I've had my fair share, you think about, well, there's another part of my life past where I went through a really rough time, and then after it was a really great time. So this might suck right now, but there's going to be another really great time coming, and I just have to hold on and make it through. And it always ends up coming true.
It really does. It really does. It really does. I've been there so many times.
And the last question I wanted to ask you, and I quote, why the hell haven't you released your EP yet?
Because I'm stupid and I put things off. I'm literally getting that done this month. Well, now it is open. It's in the air.
Charles, we win.
It is being released this month for sure. So, well, it's the end of May. So.
Will it be on the best place to find it? Can I just say to go to? I know it's links to your Facebook page right now, maddie-music.com.
iTunes. I'm gonna go through CD Baby, which helps you select anything that you want. Perfect. So anywhere I can put it, I will. Make sure it's there.
Okay, good.
So
keep
I will be releasing it. It's called Free, and there's 4 songs.
And these are the 4 you were mentioning before.
Yeah, these are the 4 these are the 4 like first accomplished songs, like really finished songs that I have. So
I can't wait.
Thanks.
I can't wait.
Thanks.
Hurry up,
Charles.
All right. So what has it been like growing into this life of music and being a part of Live Hymnal with Charles? What has that experience been like?
God, it's been incredible.
These are world-class musicians. These are amazing people.
It's honestly, it's one of the biggest blessings I have.
Yeah.
Honestly, even just with Charles initially, both Charles and I, which is really cool, we both came to St. Joseph's the same year. He started working here the same year I started going to school here the same year. And soon after that, we started the guitar lessons. And Charles Milling is, an incredible individual on his own. But he puts himself and surrounds himself with, again,
he's a magnet for it.
Incredible people.
He's a magnet for it.
He's a magnet for it, and he searches for it. So when you seek it and you are it, amazing things happen.
Yeah.
And he has taught me that. I mean, I remember I was so honored when he asked me to start singing. I mean, I'd seen this band for so long, and I'm just like, let me sing someday. Someday I will get there. And when he asked me to sing that first Sunday, I just remember being freaked out and so excited and like I'm ready, but I'm so nervous.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember, after that it was just a weekly thing, and the people that I've met through him, the musicians that I've met through him, the conversations I've had, the places we've gone, I couldn't be more grateful. It's one of the I'm so thankful. And these men and these women, and they've seen me grow up. They've been a huge part of the things that I stand for, and the things that I've learned. And you have to be humble and just grateful, and you take it one day at a time. And these people are so amazing, and they're so different. I mean, you go from Richie to Lance to Bob to Diogo to all these different people to Jeff to
an eclectic mix.
Oh gosh, it's insane. And then the fact that Becca and I could do it together, we grew up together.
Yeah.
And so the fact that she's with us, and it's just so amazing. And Charles, he's my brother. And it's just amazing to look over and sing with him and have just these amazing musicians, and Nat Stokes, just like everyone behind you. And Richie, gosh, man, Richie Bar. Like, you can't help it. And like the fact that now that they go to Canuga.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited. I'm on staff this
tell me about Canuga. Like, what has that been? I've never been. Can you believe it? I know.
I am flabbergasted.
Me too.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, no, Canuga, man. I mean, through the youth group here, I started going in 6th grade, JYP, and I went every single summer. I missed a couple in high school, and I wish I wouldn't have. Regrets.
Yeah.
But now I was a torchbearer this winter for Winterlight, and now I'm a full-fledged staff member, and Live Hymnal's there, and I've sang in the band for the past couple years, which is just so amazing.
Yeah, I saw a couple of videos.
Canuga's just, it's the most holy, sacred place in my heart, and so many others, you know, hearts.
Yes.
And so when you bring all of these incredible, incredible people who have had and shared such amazing experiences together in that one space, it's electric.
Right.
It's amazing. Just the energy there is insane. You're being even, I mean, it's amazing.
How do you go from, I guess I imagine in my head there's a huge difference between playing with Live Hymnal, whether here or Canoga, and then doing your solo gigs and stuff.
Oh, yes.
I can't even imagine that there's a means of really comparing them, but what does it feel differently from you? What do you gain differently from being alone and doing your own gig at at an establishment or wherever you're doing it?
With Live Hymnal, we are there to, as Charles says before almost every service, is we're here to open people's hearts. You know, people come in and they're kind of closed and they're not, you know, especially if they're new, you know, they're kind of closed off. They don't really know, they're not very comfortable, and it's our jobs to be there for them as an outlet to help them open their hearts and be there and sing and just get as much as they can out of it. Yeah. So when I'm singing with Live Hymnal, it's more of a group, like all of us together doing what we can and sharing what we love with people so that they can be involved. It's very spiritual and like emotional and amazing, and you know, when you share it with people that you love so much through the band, and just amazing music, and the messages are amazing, but it's more for the congregation, it's more for the crowd, it's more for the experience and for our spirituality and like what we're trying to talk about and bring people aware of. So when I'm singing with Live Hymnal, that's how I feel with that, and it's so amazing. And you have that band behind you. Yeah. That's amazing. Singing with like a full band behind you and musicians that are like incredible behind you, that literally follow you and listen to you and just make everything so much more amazing. And so that feels so powerful too. And then when I'm playing alone, you know, I'm more in control of the fact that like I'm playing guitar, I'm accompanying myself, and then Becca will play with me on like cajon or percussion, and which is really fun. And it's definitely a different vibe. It's you know, it's covers of songs and that I really connect to, and then my own personal songs that I've written, and it's more intimate. Especially, I don't play big gigs. You know, I play at wine bars downtown and smaller venues, and it's just my vocal, guitar, and a little bit of percussion. So it's you hear what I'm saying more. It's much more intimate, and I even for myself though, I go into a different like place when I'm playing my music. Yeah. Because even if I've sung, you know, my original songs many times, countless times, and you know, I can sing them differently and get something more out of them. You know, I don't feel the same way, or I look at my message differently. So it's cool. Just it depends on the night. It depends on what's going on. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. And some days some days, you know, I'm like, oh, I have a gig. I don't know if I'm up for it tonight. And I go, and those are the nights that I play the best.
Really?
Yeah. It's something about, like, that's what I needed. You know, like, oh, I'm having an off day. I don't think I should play. But I get there and I start singing, and it's just like, that's what I needed.
It's amazing.
It's a release. And
is Hallelujah still your favorite song to sing? Or is there another?
Yeah, that one, it's just...
Can I trouble you for a tiny taste? Would you mind?
Of Hallelujah?
Would you mind?
Why didn't you have me bring my guitar?
I just thought of it!
I don't know. Goodness.
Just a little bit. I don't want to, you know, ask too much. Just a little bit. It's my favorite thing ever.
Yeah, sure. I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
That was amazing.
I don't think I've ever sang that a cappella in my life.
Amazing.
I'm so glad I could do.
You are incredible. Like,
No,
I can't even.
so sweet.
I can't even tell you.
You're
like,
too
I'm
sweet.
just such a fan. I am such a fan.
You're such sweet.
It's just so natural with you. That's what's so lovely.
Thank you.
It's so lovely. Is there a song that you will only sing when you're by yourself?
Huh.
And I'm not going to ask you to sing it now.
No. I'd be like, sorry. Sorry, no. You know what? No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's new songs that I'm always trying that, you know, if I'm by myself, I'm just going to see how it goes. And, you know, if I can do it, I'll put it on my set list.
Where do you usually work stuff out and record, and where do you do all that stuff?
Anywhere. I mean, I'm not worried about. A lot of musicians are really specific about, you know, who hears them and they're practicing, and wherever. I mean, and I have a awesome app on my phone to find like cool songs and like guitar chords. And,
okay.
So, you know, if I hear a song and I connect with it and I'm like, you know, I sang along and I'm like, I can kind of, you know, let's figure that out, and I can look up the chords and feel it out and see how it goes, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and if it does, it does.
It's so cool that you can do that, though.
I love it.
It's amazing.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do.
That's awesome. Oh, but one of your other favorite things to do, like you mentioned earlier, was your horse. Tell us about your horse.
Yes, dude.
It's so cool that you're able to bring him to college. Him or her?
Him.
Okay.
Who would have thought that bringing a horse to college would be easier than bringing a dog? Because you can't have a dog in your dorm, but you can board a horse 15 minutes up the road for a fee a month. Like, okay, you know, and his name's Dude. He's amazing. He's my best friend. I've had him since I was 11. So.
Wow. How old is he then?
He's 18, so he's only a year younger than me.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
It's cute, really.
I mean,
awesome. I'm totally like his mama, you know, like I take care of him, but like we're only a year apart. It's cool. And so like I've literally grown up with him, and I've seen him grow up. And we have the coolest bond. I mean, like they say dogs are a man's best friend, and I have this huge horse. And he's amazing. You know, you have that connection with your pet and your animal. And, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't bring him up there. He has been such an outlet. I mean, that was a big move. You know, a lot going on. You're on your own. You're figuring stuff out. Of
course. How did he handle the move?
Oh, he had a rough transition too.
Poor dude.
I mean, down here in Florida, it's hot, it's humid. He had skin problems, just stuff like that.
Yeah.
The weather, and then they call it horse country up there for a reason. The grass, it's literally the most nutrient-filled green, juicy grass you've ever seen in your entire life.
Well, be careful when he might look at you sideways when you guys move back down.
No. He is never. He's gonna die up there.
Okay.
He would hate me. He'd be like, oh,
again.
He'd be like, come on, what are you doing? So he is the happiest he has ever been. And he loves it up there. And if you have a bad day, I'd go out and see him every day. And if you just need to get away from the city and everything, you drive 10 minutes outside of the city, and I have my horse, and it's quiet, and you're in the middle of a field, and you're just relaxing. And
have you ever had an accident on a horse, or
that kind of goes into it. I mean, if you're gonna horseback ride, you're gonna fall off every once in a while.
Anything really bad?
No, I've definitely had bad falls, but no broken bones.
Okay.
Thank God.
Good.
Knock on wood.
And so, do you do jumps with him and all that stuff?
I used to.
Yeah.
And then he's a quarter horse, so he's more Western, and he came from Texas. He should have been like a cattle farmer, but so down here it's way more equestrian, as in, jumping and shows, and I never had a passion for it.
You just loved a horse?
I just wanted to hang out with my horse and hop on bareback and go for a little bit of a ride and just get away.
That's awesome.
And he's my best friend, so Hey, he keeps all my secrets.
Oh, that's so cute. Speaking of secrets, what's the tattoo on your arm mean? Can I ask you about that?
Yeah, it's my birthday's 9/11, and so
I know I'm 9/10. I saw that.
Yes. Virgos. And so on my last year on my birthday, I got 9/11, and it's always 9/11. It's always hit a spot with me.
Of course.
And so the fact that I also share that day,
of course,
really resonates.
Of course.
I got 9/11.
Do you know that there's random fact? Do you know you remember how was it Congresswoman Giffords, when she was shot at an event a couple of years ago? She was like doing a signing or whatever at a not a signing but a meet and greet at a grocery store.
Okay.
And it was a weekday. And there's this little girl who lived there who just loved her. I was so excited. Aww. But so her parents were like, okay, you can skip school. There was a friend of theirs who was willing to take her, who's going, and said she can come. And it was a big deal. This little girl got to go. And so when the shots rang out and this crazy guy, did what he did, the little girl passed away, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
my goodness.
What's amazing about her story, she was born on the 9/11.
The
9/11. Wow. And so for her to be involved in these two dual tragedies it just always struck a chord. So whenever I hear anyone talk about 9/11, I immediately think of her because I'm just like, it's amazing how that one day just resonates in so many different ways, and I think forever it'll just always go down as something that means a lot for people. So it's interesting that you have that tattoo. Yeah. Yep. I mean, for a while there, you probably got that's your birthday.
Totally. I've had a day, like a moment of silence on my birthday ever since. So
yeah, I've always ever since then I've tried to always take September 11th off. Yeah. People always joke with me, because you always party on your birthday. I'm like, no, jerk off.
No,
it's going to be reverent for September 11th.
Oh, you're coming into work hungover?
Right?
No.
I think it should be a national holiday, but that's just my opinion.
You know what? It should be. Why is it not? There's so many people that who wasn't affected by 9/11?
Yeah.
A friend's friend, your mom's sister. You know what I mean?
I absolutely think that's.
Everyone's been touched by it.
I think so too. So as you're growing and you're transitioning now from, I'm sure Charles will always be a huge influence for you, but I mean, you're growing into the other side of things where you're now in a position where you can start mentoring others, and I know that you used to give guitar lessons, right? And so are you still able to do that in college, or is things just so busy now?
It's not even, I have time for it. Nashville is, because it's Music City, there are just so many.
Everybody gives guitar lessons.
And there's so many better people to give guitar lessons. I wouldn't be doing these kids justice.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Because there's just so much more talent. And so, I mean, I loved teaching guitar lessons down here. I had like 4 students. We had a lot of fun. It was, I really did. I loved it. Yeah. And it reinforced what I learned, so I was still, you can never go over something too much.
Right.
And so I was even learning, and I have so much fun with it, and like it's so rewarding, seeing them reach their goal, finish the song that they've always, like their favorite song that they've always wanted to play. And they're so cute, and you could tell that they're working hard, and they care about it. And I was really, really lucky because I had students who, their parents weren't forcing it. It wasn't like, you have to do this, you have to learn guitar. It was, they wanted to. They
makes such a difference.
Yeah, totally, because they have a different mentality, They look at it as like, this is something I really want to do, and I care about it, and I want to learn this, and then they do it. And, even I had one student, Jasmine, and she's in the youth band. Yeah. And yeah. And we started, and she could strum a few chords, and she just kind of had like that little knack. She picked up on it really quickly, and she has a voice already, and she kind of knows what she wants to say, and she's starting to write songs, and it's really cool to see her grow. And so it's really weird but amazing being on the other side of it, because that's what Charles was. And I mean, sadly, I moved away, so I won't watch them grow as much, and
you're always coming back.
It's just great to see that they're still doing it. And so hopefully I'll start teaching again one day.
What do you hope that your journey teaches your sister? about her own life and her own goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny because my sister and I are very different. I'm creative, and she's sports, and she's very athletic, volleyball, and she wants to go to a big state school, and she has a huge group of friends. She really enjoys high school, very involved. And I mean, she's beautiful. I love her.
She's awesome.
She's a sweetheart. She's hilarious. Goodness gracious.
I love your relationship too.
We have a really the chemistry between us is really funny because we are so different, but we still relate, you know. And she's so amazing. She's so supportive. It's pretty cool that we're so different. There's no competition between us.
That's good.
You have your thing, I have my thing, and I support you for your thing, and you support me for mine. And she's so cute. I mean, I'll sing like a happy song. Yeah. And she'll cry. And I'm just like, what? She's just like, it's you. And it's so heartwarming, and there's just so much love there. And, you know, she's amazing, and I mean, I'm always there for her. Ever since we've gotten closer since I moved away. You know, you realize how important those
happened with my brother.
Yeah, you realize how important it is to stay in touch, and even with my parents too. It's just we've all become closer, and you know, she's got one more year of high school. She thinks she knows where she wants to go. Yeah, and she's figuring it out, and whereas, you know, I knew what college I wanted to go to around freshman, sophomore year. You know, I knew what I wanted to be. I knew what I wanted to go for. I'd found so much, which I was so blessed to have. And whereas she doesn't know, you know, she's kind of figuring it out, and she doesn't know what she wants to major in, and that's totally fine. Yeah. So.
And how about you? What do you want for your future, and what do you want for your career?
You know, if my absolute dreams, you know, scenario would be, people ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm like, a rock star. Like,
duh.
Let me be a rock star, please. Give me a big stage, please. I just want to play music. But, you know, I'm just happy sharing music. Whether, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, I know music will be involved. Absolutely. I'm always going to be writing. And whether I get a publishing deal and write a hit song for someone, you know, to sing, or whether I, you know, am found and signed with the label. I know that either way I'm going to have a backup plan. My father's always taught me to, you know, go for your dreams, but you can have something behind you that you can fall back on. And so I'm continuing my songwriting major, going to focus on that, do my best to stay creative and just grow with that and see what I can learn.
Some of the most accomplished musicians started off as really accomplished songwriters. You know, they have a huge catalog, and I mean, I sometimes I hear of someone and that they've written a song, this other song for someone. I'm like, they wrote that, you know, and so and it certainly will help build up your relationships in the industry, your credentials and all that. So,
and graduating from Belmont's name is like a golden ticket in Nashville. So I mean, if they see that you graduated from there.
Does that mean you're gonna stay in Nashville? tears.
Man. Yep. There's really very little music down here.
Yeah. Whatever feels right for you.
Yeah. And who knows? I don't know where I'll be.
Yeah.
New York, LA.
Yeah.
Something.
I feel like with your determination and you have a strong guidepost inside of you, I feel like you're gonna make it happen.
Thanks. All I know is I want to play music, travel, be able to support myself. Yeah. And do as much as I can with that, you know? I mean, who knows? I might graduate and join the Peace Corps. I have a lot of things that I've always wanted to do. Yeah. And so I'd love to see them
explore them as much as possible. Yeah. As much as possible. Yeah. Because life can change.
Oh.
Take advantage.
I mean, even in the past year, so much has changed, so.
I know.
It's exciting, though. I'm always excited about it.
It's exciting seeing you, watching your journey and seeing things progress and stuff. It's really, really cool. I'm really glad to be a witness. It's awesome. So anything else you want to say before you close out the podcast so people can find you? Do you want to say where people can find you online and stuff?
MaddieMusic.com, Maddie-music.com. I have a Facebook page, and I post whenever I'm playing a gig. I'm playing the 29th. At N2 Wine Bar, which is downtown in Pineapple Grove. Okay. From 9 to midnight. And
what's the date today?
It's
Today's the 23rd. Okay, cool. 23rd. So this will be out before then. Great. Just checking.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll be playing that Friday night, and you know, come out to Unplugged live Hymnal. And
that's another. Yeah, that's true. Even though your own EP is not out yet, they can always check out the live Hymnal songs.
Totally, go check out live Hymnal. I'm on there. There's a big group of people singing with us, but I'm in there somewhere.
And I'm in the chorus somewhere.
Yes, in the chorus.
You can't discern me at all.
No.
I'm in there.
Hey, if you're in there, you're in there.
I'm in there.
And so, I mean, like, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
You've been great. This was so awesome talking to you. So, do you want to close out the podcast? All you do is say, this is Madison Langley, or Maddie, whatever you want to say, with Curve the Cube.
Yeah. This is Madison Langley with Curve the Cube.
Yay!
Yay! Hugs. Thank you.
Awesome.
So much.
Thank you.
I love this. This is so great.
Hey!
You have successfully curved the cube.
She said